Speaking of random things, Jerry Jones and Brian Schottenheimer
so random
talking to reporters. It looks like Jerry Jones is holding court, literally, with the suit and tie. Looks like he's running for Senate.
Which look,
all power to him.
Say what you want. Jerry always looks clean.
No, he looks clean. I'm saying he's got the suit on. The background didn't help. It looks very like government, federal.
Congressional.
Congressional is a great word in the background. So why don't you share with the people what Jerry Jones had to say, particularly what about Micah Parsons?
So he's essentially saying, and I've read 10 different things today as it pertains to that, but a couple different things he pointed out. One, when it comes to Micah Parsons, he's okay, and this is actually the actual. Okay, here we go. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on Micah Parsons' contract situation. I don't view it as urgent at all.
Let's stop right there. Let's just break. I don't see it as urgent at all. So before we get to the rest of the quote, I think that would be alarming to hear, just off the rip. Now he's going to try his best to, patty cake it around and sandwich it in and make it sound good. But just that one statement alone, which could get clickbaited, made into a meme, made into a graphic, I have no concern at all. It's troubling, but continue with the quote.
But here's the thing, though. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not. If people are still surprised by the
anything
stuff that Jerry says, good or bad, then I would say you're a little lost. Where you been?
Because here's my question. Are you even sure that you believe Jerry when he says that?
I don't know. Continue the quote.
All right. So he says, on waiting, I'd rather pay more and get it right. Okay? So that's that. That's number one. So I'll let you guys kind of...
when he did that, I'd rather pay more and get it right. He's saying, I don't want to get screwed over by a contract, paying a guy too early and he gets hurt or doesn't play well. But reading between the lines, I think that's a hard comprehension. I believe that's what he's saying. So
but that's such a... defeatist way to look at it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you paying anybody then? Man?
I think you have to be cautiously optimistic if you're a GM, but to say that blanket rule over everyone.
Well, you can see. You know what? You can say that when you're the owner. No GM outside of Jerry Jones will ever say that. I'd rather wait and pay more and get it right. Yeah. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, because what? Micah Parsons is suddenly going to be better? What Micah Parsons is after 4 seasons.
Even if you are just now tuning into the Cowboys, there's fans that have been fans for 30 years that have seen this kind of similar Jerry actions. There's people that have been fans the last 15, which is more what I'd fall into based on my age range. 10 years old when you start understanding what football is. And I understand that. And there's people that have just tuned in the last 5 years, and there's people like you who obviously knew who the Cowboys were.
Followed the Cowboys,
but have gotten closer.
Yes.
And I think
which is night and day, by the way.
Which I think even you would be able to say, with the limited amount of time you've been close to them, anything Jerry's saying of how his team has been ran, this is no surprise. We've seen him be on a prove-it deal kind of guy. Like last year before that, how he does his contract. Like this is all, the writing's been on the wall for how he's going to do business. I'm not paying guys early. I will do 1-year deals. I'll make guys wait. Now, did he make some of those mistakes early on? Yes, and we can start naming players left and right for when he signed early that it didn't work. And they seem to be stuck in their ways with, if it doesn't work one time, it'll never work.
Well, and that's
and you can't, or if it worked one time, it's always going to work. It's like there's some gray area.
There has to be, and
it's so black and white with them.
Look at the draft.
You're going to have misses.
Is that not at least with free agents? And by the way, the guys in your own building, like nobody knows Micah Parsons better than the Dallas Cowboys. So
and all the stuff that we actually have questions about who he is off the field, they would know that better than anyone.
Of all the podcasts and all the rigmarole and whatever beef him and Tank Lawrence had behind the scenes, yada, 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 whatever. Like, for as much as we've heard snippets and whispers and the insiders and Bobby Belts and everybody else talking about what happened and what didn't, they know. Like, they know what happened. So you have a better gauge than anybody of what to expect from Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and if you're just waiting,
what are you waiting for?
I don't know if there's waiting on that leadership to develop, and you're not still waiting on that. I would not think so. That's the only thing I can think of. Like, hey, we want to see if he's going to develop into this guy before we pay him big money. Maybe that's why they didn't sign him before this past season just happened. Now it's like, hey, it's your team. we feel like you're ready. And I feel like they are actively trying to do negotiations. They're not like pushing it to the back burner like we don't want to.
Well,
now,
according to them, they're trying to, even without the agent.
So apparently, I saw that Jerry said they are on agreement on principle of the contract.
Yeah.
And that Jerry wants him to step up more as a leader. And then Micah's saying, I'm not going to sign this unless Mulligetta sees it first.
Well, of course. I mean, and Jerry, like, what fantasy world is Jerry Jones living in? Like, bro, this isn't the 1990s or the 80s where you could sit down, in a backroom deal. Yeah, at some random barbecue joint in Fort Worth and get a deal done. Like, that's not how things work anymore.
Partners, come on, sign it.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we don't have to get the agents involved.
You know what I mean? We're just two boys talking shop over here, huh? I mean, his agent's David Mulligetta. Yeah. The deal is he doesn't like David Mulligetta. I'll tell you what. I think there's
the moment Micah was even close to Jerry, David Mulligetta's sensors are going off.
He probably had him bugged. But here, I think two things are at play here. Because then Jerry went on to say, I don't even know the guy's name. Like, come on, Jerry, let's not be disrespectful here. But I think two things have happened, especially as it pertains to today. And we know Jerry sees and hears everything. I think when he saw that, and shout out to our boy Brandon Laurie from Blogging with the Boys, he's going to be joining us on Thursday, friend of the program. He tweeted out something yesterday, went viral, semi-viral, whatever the hell we're calling it these days. But it was Todd France basically saying, look, we took this thing down to the very end. The Cowboys didn't want to negotiate. They waited till the very last second. We basically held them over a barrel, and boom, the deal got done. Which there's nothing flattering about the discussion as it pertains to how the Cowboys go about their business, right? Mm-hmm. So yesterday, 24 hours ago, we got a front page look at a behind the scenes of how Jerry and Steven operate.
I love technology.
And
I love social media,
and there's nothing shrewd about it.
Nope.
Okay? It wasn't like you came away from that going, damn, those guys drive a hard bargain. No. You damn near lost your quarterback, and then you paid out of the nose for it. All right? And they held you over the barrel.
And it's looked worse since you've paid.
And it's been an absolute disaster since you did it, and you've been basically beaten on every dotting every I and crossing every T. They beat you to it. Okay, like you guys looked like the flaccid ones here, not Todd France and company. So take that, and now here we are 24 hours later. Yeah, there's probably a reason why Jerry's trying to negotiate without David Mulligetta. Because they smell blood. You know how agents are. They smell blood in the water. And look, we talked about this last week on this program. David Mulligetta's walking around with his chest out saying, look, I got Jimmy Haslam over here crying about how he swung and missed. Well, guess what? You still owe my guy $90 million, or however much it is.
Doesn't matter how bad I play. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. The fans hate it. I get paid and my player gets paid.
Did you see what Deshaun tweeted out? Like something about how he doesn't hear the outside noise. Hear the outside noise or something like
Makes
that.
Makes sense. Give me the DeMarcus Lawrence.
So real quick. And, of course, we the news broke, kind of broke. Well, no, the back and forth broke while you and I were on the air a couple weeks ago. So he had gone on and basically said...
Who's he?
Tank Lawrence, thank you. Dallas is my home, but I know for sure I'm not going to win a Super Bowl there, right? So everybody, oh, my God, all hell broke loose. So... from our girl Jory Epstein. When asked about this, Jerry Jones was effusive in his praise for DeMarcus Lawrence.
What is effusive, man?
He had a lot to say. He was
I like that's a new word for me. I'm not even lying to you. That's a new word.
He was very over the top in how he was like, Tank's the best. This,
adding that to the vocabulary.
He was effusive in the praise for DeMarcus Lawrence and the leadership he gave the Cowboys. Said these comments had zero influence on his desire to put DeMarcus in the Cowboys Ring of Honor.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tolos. Do you think DeMarcus Lawrence should be in the Cowboys Ring of Honor? 877-881-1053. Should DeMarcus Lawrence be in the Cowboys Ring of Honor? Text in yes, text in no. Give your reasoning if you wish. Off first glance, I would think no, considering the names that are in there and what they've done for your franchise. Is DeMarcus Lawrence been a Dallas Cowboy for 11 years? Yes.
Isn't Charles Haley in the Ring of Honor? I mean, outside of being a black defensive end, does DeMarcus Lawrence and Charles Haley have anything else in common? I mean,
how tall was Charles Haley?
I think Charles Haley, is every bit about like 6'5".
Okay, DeMarcus Lawrence 6'3".
He's a big dude. Haley's a big dude. Now he might have shrunk. He might be 6'3", 6'4" at this stage. But I like I said, I remember seeing him doing an interview with him a few years back, and he's a good sized dude.
4-time Pro Bowler, our boy D-Law, AP second team All-Pro in 2017, and NFC Defensive Player of the Month in 2017.
Well, I mean, Player of the Month, that tells me all I need to know right there. I mean, look, is he going to go down as a great Cowboy? Sure. But I'll defer to Cowboy fans.
Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2020.
Nominee.
So 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time AP All-Pro second team.
Here's what I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to ask this to the Tolos, Fatties, and anybody else that's listening to the program right now, whether you're listening. Oh, my God. Your boy is wilding. Your boy is wild.
What, finish?
Was there ever a time this year that we said to ourselves defensively, man, I'm missing number 90 out there?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the middle part of it, especially with the run game, because you had no good run defenders. Now, the run defense got better in like the last 6-7 games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You said it right away after he was gone. Because but the defense was crap. To start.
But no, he is not the difference maker where you're like, man, our team can no longer compete. Because
who did you feel a bigger loss of, Micah or Tank Lawrence?
Yeah, definitely Micah.
I mean, let's call it what it is. And again, I'm not, and I said this last couple weeks ago.
It's not really going at DeMarcus Lawrence. This is not what this segment is. It's not a slander of DeMarcus Lawrence.
Look, DeMarcus Lawrence, again, and I said this before, every NFL team has a Tank Lawrence.
And when you do awards like this, Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, All-Pro, there's got to be a line of demarcation. You got to get a little ruthless. You can't, I love all these guys that we're talking about.
I mean, the bar's been set pretty high, right?
But we can't just because we like the guy and the guy's been here and been a good leader, be like, he's in the Ring of Honor.